Now that I'm in Malindi, it kinda gives me that coastal vibes. I'm having a deja vu. Let's do some ride and talk as we explore this beautiful Kenyan coastal town and a huge tourist attraction with a lot of Italian influence due to its ever-growing Italian population and Italian restaurants. In fact, the other name of this town is Little Italy. Anyways guys, this video is due to public demand. Some of you have asked me to do a part 2 of the video where I talked about why I will never marry a Swahili woman. If you have not watched part 1, I recommend you do so before watching this one. The link to that video is in the description box below. Drink some water. To recap part 1, I talked about Amina, a Swahili woman I used to date during my campus years, long time before most of you guys were born. We used to love each other a lot. In fact, the reason I never settled back in South Africa after my postgraduate studies was absolutely because of Amina. I flew back to Kenya because I really wanted to settle in with her. Despite all my efforts, our relationship never materialized. 1, because her mother would never approve of it due to religious related issues. She is from a Muslim family and I'm a Christian. And 2, she left the country. She flew to work in Saudi Arabia, but the way she did it was shocking. She applied for a passport and work visa behind my back and only called to notify me when she was already in a plane outbound on her way out. I have covered this part in detail in part 1 video, so let me not repeat myself. I want to talk about the next part, which is after she landed in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Remember, I had invested so much time and emotions on Amina, so when she left that way, I was so devastated. To make the matter worse, her phone was unreachable for about a month. Now this story is about to get twisted and even weirder, but first I have a disclaimer. This story is about my life in the past. It is by no means meant to profile or criticize Swahili women. I'm just telling a story as it happened to me from a personal perspective. And by the way, I am married now. I also want to emphasize that there is no bad blood between Amina and myself, even though we don't talk anymore. So let's continue. Now, after a month has passed, to be honest, I had not moved on. I was still in denial. I decided to take a break from relationship stuff and just focus on my job and family. That is my mom and siblings. I was working in a bank then. And then, one afternoon, Amina calls. It was over the weekend, I remember. She sounded very apologetic, and that kind of softened me a bit because, believe me or not, I still had a soft spot for her. So I gave her another chance. This came after a long explanation of how difficult it was for her to settle in Saudi Arabia. She said that first, her passport alongside with her SIM card was seized the moment they arrived in Riyadh, and they had to be placed in some kind of waiting hostel for 2 weeks before they were transferred to their respective bosses, where they would eventually start enjoying stuff like phone call benefits. Well, I don't quite remember everything here and all the excuses she gave, but what I remember clearly was that I forgave her and agreed to continue in a long distance relationship with her, and this is where I started uncovering some weird things. At the beginning, things were okay. We would have some long video calls, especially over the weekends. She would show me around the neighborhood where she worked, around the boss's house, sometimes even at the mall when she had gone to grab some groceries. And at times, she would even introduce and make me talk to her boss's children. In short, it was all cool. This continued for almost 3 years, which was the duration for her job contract in Saudi Arabia. Therefore, I knew she was about to come back to Kenya. One day, Amina decided to open up. She said this, "Revi," she used to call me Revi. "Revi, I'm about to tell you something, but promise me you're not gonna get mad with me." I said, "Go on." "I love you and I will never allow any woman to come between us. But again, I can never marry you because, well, you know, the religious differences and most importantly, my mother. I will need my mother's blessings for my marriage to happen. It is just customary and I cannot afford my mother's curse. I need her blessings." Kule Uswazi wanaziita radhi za mama. Ni muhimu sana. But there's one thing. which is possible and I want to do it. I want to have a kid with you when I come back to Kenya. I said, well, I'll think about it. Since you're about to come back anyways, we'll talk about it in person, okay? And then she said, there's one more thing. I want you to know that I was serious when I said, if you ever marry another woman, I'll be with you. In fact, before I left for Saudi Arabia, I went to see a witch doctor. And I asked the witch doctor to cast a spell such that you will never see another woman other than me. And even if you did, you will never have children with that woman. You will always wait for me. But the witch doctor said to me, your boyfriend's love for you is way too pure to interrupt with. This guy loves you too much, you do not want to interfere anything here, so you just go. I was shocked, but I pretended like it was no big deal. And then a time came when Amina was coming back. This time I was living in Nairobi. I had come to work since I had lost my bank job back in Mombasa due to COVID-19. That was in 2020. We had agreed that I was the one to pick her up from the airport, and then we spent a few days together at my place here in Nairobi before she left for Mombasa. So we had agreed that she must lie to her mom about the exact day of arrival so that we can buy some time of spending together here in Nairobi. Surprisingly, when the date came, Amina did not drop by me. She just connected flights from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport here in Nairobi to Mombasa International Airport and only called me when she was already at home in Bombolulu. So she asked me to travel to Mombasa in my earliest available day to meet her. Having missed her so much, I didn't see this as a red flag, so I agreed. That following weekend, I took an extra 2-day off and traveled from Nairobi to go meet Amina. She suggested that I pick a different town from Bombolulu because her mom must never know about this. She suggested Likoni Ferry because she had some cousins there and she frequently visited, so it would never raise any eyebrows, even if she spent a couple of days there. This was a good choice for me as well, since my uncle used to live there as well. So when I arrived from Nairobi, I was so tired. I called to let Amina know that I had arrived, and she said she was on her way anyways. So I went to see my uncle, whom we spent that evening together. My uncle actually suggested for a good hotel where I booked for bed and breakfast. It was around 9 p.m. when Amina arrived. She didn't seem excited to see me, which was strange. I didn't expect that, and that was very odd. We went to the hotel together, but she refused to get in. Her excuse was that my visit was abrupt and therefore she was not ready for me. I was confused. I even thought at first this was just a joke. Amina was damn serious. In fact, she went to spend the night at her cousin's while I slept alone at the hotel. It was cold, the night was long, and that's when I decided to call off the relationship. I decided to move on. 3 days later, Amina calls. It was a video call, and she was back in Saudi Arabia. I can't continue with this story, guys. It's too long and it does not fit this channel. This is a motorcycle content channel. I only did this because some of you guys insisted. I hope this part 2 satisfies your curiosity. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks. Isn't that spitting slow, spitting fast? I can roast, I can gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in